Hi you guys, it's Ruby from Oofy Scraps and I am back with a new video. Today I am sharing the first part in my Coachella Album series. So I went to Coachella, which is a music festival in Palm Springs area of Southern California. And I was there the weekend of Easter, so that's weekend one if you're familiar with Coachella. And in this video, I'm just going to be doing all of the prep. So I just flipped through everything I have in my album so far. And then these are all my photos. And just before this, I showed a few different pattern papers I had picked out. So I don't print my photos at home. I don't have access to a photo printer. So I've always gotten my photos through Costco. In February of last year, Costco stopped selling photos in their physical storefront, like in the Costco shopping center or whatever. So now I have to order them, which I was kind of annoyed about because I liked that you could order the photos and pick them up the next day. But now I order them and they do take a few days to get here, but it's free shipping and I've made it work for me. So the way I get all of my unique size photos is using Canva and splicing photos on one paper. So I use the photo sizes that Costco offers and kind of adjust them to the sizes that I need. So now I'm going to take 3 pieces of random paper and cut down my photos and put them in separate piles. So this is an 8x10 piece of paper, of photo paper, and I've adjusted it to be slightly larger than 6x8 so that I can create a fold over, which that is a little bit confusing. You'll see once I start putting the album together. But this is something I haven't tried before, so I am excited to see how it turns out in this album. So I think I'm putting the photo piles by day. So the first one on the right is day 1, the second one in the middle is day 2, and then the third one on the left will be day 3 because I do want to do my album chronologically. The one I just trimmed down is an 8x8 photo paper size, and I put 2 photos on that in the kind of like panoramic style, and that fits perfectly in the Citrus Twist like open sleeve of their Life Crafted album. So it's like similar to a 4x8. I think it's a little bit taller than 8 inches, so I have a bit of room on the top, but I think it works pretty well considering. So that's what I do. But yeah, you can see I do a lot of those photos. I really like the way that those full page photos look in the Citrus Twist Life Crafted album. So obviously that's the album I'm using. I showed it in the beginning, but I hadn't mentioned it exclusively or explicitly. But yeah, it's a really fun album. I really like using it and I love it for travel albums. And then the most common size I do is a 4x6, and I just put 2 3x4s onto the 4x6. So that's like a really easy trick. And you can use various different apps. I used to always use the Project Life app to do the 3x4s. And the app is also good for creating even smaller than 3x4 prints, like 2x2 photos, because you can do tiny grids. But for larger photos, I find that it's easiest to use Canva. I use the free version of Canva on my computer, and you can do really pretty complicated sizes, but you can also do really simple stuff, and it's pretty obvious. Like, it makes a lot of sense when you're using it. So yeah, I'm just going through and cutting all of my photos and making sure they're all in order chronologically for the most part. And while I'm doing this, I'm trying to get an idea of like what's going to go where, what's going to go together. Sometimes if I'm being really organized, I will, before ordering the photos, go through my album and figure out like page protector wise what's going to work where. But I have a lot of photos for this album, so that was kind of too much of a feat to do. So now I'm going into my album, and I had picked out some products I already wanted to use inside of my little album already. So like 4x4 or 3x4 cards and different papers. So I'm just pulling those out and sticking photos in chronologically. And unfortunately, this is pretty out of the frame, but I will see. I don't think I pull it up. We might have to just skip ahead because I'm pretty out of the frame here. But I started off with 2 full page photos, and then I'm pulling out just different size page protectors I need to accommodate the photos I want to use in the order that I am using them. Okay, so I skipped ahead about 2 minutes and I am back in frame here, thankfully. It's more of the same, so you didn't miss anything too crazy. But I have these 4 3x4 photos, and I'm trying to decide how I want to arrange them and 3 of them go together, but one of them is different. I think I end up changing that later on. But yeah, so it's just, I like to have a variety of page protector sizes. I don't want to have like a million 3x4s right after each other. But I also have a lot of 3x4 photos. And so just making it make sense to where if I'm adding a 3x4 pocket, the next page, do I have more 3x4s that go along with it chronologically? And same thing for full size photos and stuff. And then also thinking about when I want to add a journaling card or, something like that. Just trying to set myself up for success. And I find that this is a really helpful way to start an album rather than just diving in and working on the very first page just from the start. I like going through the whole book and getting my photos in order so I know that I can confidently begin with the first page, knowing that the rest of the album is set up for success. Because if you start working on something and then you love the way it's going, and then you realize that like chronologically you have to switch things around or logistically you have to switch things around, I've run into problems a lot. Something else I started doing was using little like papers or sticky notes and putting like notes to myself like, I want this photo to go with this card, because unfortunately some of my photos I didn't order somehow, like I skipped ordering a couple of them, so I had to reorder. And since then I've gotten the photos in, but it helps because right now it makes sense to me that like, oh, of course this photo is going to go with this card. But then by the time I get my photos again, I'm going to be like, wait, where do they go? What was my plan? So I'm doing little notes to myself, and I find that really helpful. And if you're not a planner type person, you could totally fly by the seat of your pants and just get started and go. But it helps me because I get annoyed when things don't like match up, like page protectors where I have a full page photo and then I have a 3x4. And this little Polaroid I have, I really love, but I'm frustrated because I don't know how I'm going to put it right now. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But anyways, now I'm back out of the frame a little, but hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing here. So this is a 6x8 photo that I've cut down from a 8x10 photo paper. And then I took a 6x8 full page protector and I creased it on the outside edge by like an inch or two so that it could be like, it could fit into the Citrus Twist album. So if the Citrus Twist full size page protectors are about 4x8, I creased the 6x8 album page protector, like the full size page protector, by 2 inches. So now I'm going to take my 6x8 photo and slice 2 inches off of the right side so that that skinny strip can go into the folded over part of the page protector that I creased, and then the rest of it can go into the main section of it. That was maybe really confusing, but hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And it does take me a little while because this is my first time trying it. Originally I was thinking of folding over the photo, but I knew that it would make a really nasty crease, and this is here I'm trying to do like a folded over moment, but I realized it wasn't gonna fold or fit in there very well. So I'm going in and trying to fit it, adjusting it, trimming it, etc. And then I slide the whole thing in, and at some point I realized that I just need to cut this small section off and just put it in separately. So I'm lining my photo up with the page protector that I've creased. Here's my head. I'm making sure my crease is really strong, and I'm doing a little bit of measuring, a little math in real life. And then I cut my photo, which is kind of a little bit nerve-wracking to cut the whole thing, but hopefully I did my measurements well. And I slide the first half into the larger portion of the fold of the page protector, and then I'll slide the skinnier half into the skinnier section. And then I think I have to do some more trimming. So this photo is me and my friend. We camped at Coachella this year, so we don't know what Coachella is. It's a music festival, like I said, in Southern California, and it's very like typical hipster LA kind of an experience, I would say. So a lot of palm trees, a lot of like hipster, artsy designed things and food. So this is the big sign that goes into camping. So you can stay on site and camp, which is what we did. You can also stay in an Airbnb, which is probably a nicer experience, but getting in and out of the festival is a nightmare. So I was happy to camp. But it was just a fun photo of us underneath this cool archway, which I thought was like an interesting perspective. And now I'm off screen again, but I'm going to bring us back onto screen and we're just going to keep moving. These photos are from the Billie Eilish show, which was Saturday night, my favorite show of the weekend for sure. I also wore my favorite outfit of the weekend intentionally because, you know, you want to wear your favorite outfit, see your favorite artists. It was a whole fun experience. And now I'm moving a little bit backwards, looking at what we were eating just before the Billie Eilish concert. So we went to the little Indio food market and got some ramen. And I have this ramen 3x4 card that is from In a Creative Bubble printable kit. So I was excited to be able to use that. I tried my best to take photos of as much of the food as I could that we ate throughout the weekend, because a big thing about music festivals and Coachella specifically is all of the fun, exciting kinds of food you can eat while you're there. So I'm just slipping those photos into the 3x4 pockets. Actually, I'm using a 3x8 pocket right now because I'm out of 3x4 pockets. The two 3x4 pocket ones, I'm like out of those page protectors right now. So I'm just using one 3x8 and sliding all the photos in. I might order some more, or I might just make those ones work. So I'm always trying to work with what I have as best as possible. And now moving on to day 3, I have some more of those full 4x8 photos. This is a 4x6 photo of my friend and I, and then a 4x6 photo of Maggie Rogers. So my friend Olivia actually came with us and she gifted me tickets to Coachella for my birthday. So this is like my birthday present because Maggie Rogers was performing at Coachella, and Maggie Rogers is an artist that Olivia loves and went to a concert for and turned me on to. And ever since, like, we've both loved the music, and any Maggie Rogers song I hear reminds me of Olivia. So it was really fun to be able to go see her live together. And because she was not like a headliner at Coachella, we were able to get really, really close to the front, which was super fun. So we were excited to do that. Now I'm struggling trying to get photos into these long 3x8 pockets because I have to kind of push it all the way to the bottom. So I am just trimming them down a bit, and then I will use that pen to push the photo down into the bottom of the pocket. So getting a little creative here, but trying to make it work. My brother Bo and my other brother West also went to Coachella this year. We all camped. Well, actually West camped with us, but Bo stayed in an Airbnb with his friends. And we all kind of did our own thing throughout the day. We met up a few times. And then when I got home from the trip, I asked Bo and West to share photos with me. So I have a couple of photos from them, from their perspective, from times when we were together and times when they were not with me. And I like the idea of sharing their perspective of the weekend and of the festival as well. So that's another idea of, if you're doing, any kind of travel documenting, is asking the people you are with if they have any photos that they loved or that they'd want to share. And that way you can get not only just more photos, but different perspectives and different stories along with it. So I went ahead and did that, and now I'm adding more full page photos. I apologize, I didn't realize how much of this I was out of the frame. So that is something I sometimes forget, especially when I'm working on a longer stretch of a project. So this is about 40 minutes real time of working. So I got a little bit carried away, but I'm doing another one of those larger 6x8 photos that I'm going to fold over. So this is my boyfriend, Steven, and he's like looking back at me walking towards the festival, and I thought it was a really fun photo. I also printed it as a 4x8, but the way the photo worked is it had to be oriented and it was flipped. So I'm not sure if you guys were able to see that, but I didn't cut the photo right now. I decided I'll do it later. And here I'm just giving you guys a flip through of everything I was able to set up. So again, I'm really excited to have everything ready to go, and I'm ready for the most exciting part, which is all of the embellishing and putting together the album. And as I'm flipping through, I'm contemplating what I might want to do next, any other ideas. If there's any materials, products, embellishments I know I want to include, I'm sticking them into the album with the photos. I definitely want to do something with a frame on that page. It's just a matter of picking out which frame works the best. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at my little prep and seeing how I'm going to tackle the album. And I will catch you in the next one, which will be the actual embellishing part of the process. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.